Experimenting with food. Sourdough starter. We're going to try this, and if this works, we'll try to make something out of the starter, but this has to sit overnight, I believe. Yeah, leave it room temperature overnight, yada yada yada. Something to entertain me, right? We've got our yeast and a quarter cup of lukewarm water, so we're going to go ahead and do that now. I'm going to stir that, let it dissolve in, and then let it sit for a few minutes. And then we will be adding 2 cups of warm water, a cup and a half of flour, and 1 tablespoon of sugar. There's the sugar, and I'm putting that into the flour. And then we have 2 cups of warm water. It's pre-measured. I had to warm that up because most of my water's cold. And we stir all that together, and then I think we let it sit overnight. And it says to leave a cloth over it overnight. So we're going to stir this and then do that. I managed to get most of the lumps out, but this says that when you use it, you replenish your starter with 50% warm water and flour. And like the next recipe is for biscuits, and it has using 1 cup of the starter. That's about 2 cups, so you'd use about half of that, then replenish your starter, and then you'd go ahead and follow the recipe for this. I don't know if I'm going to do that, but let's just take this 1 page at a time. Bye-bye. These are tricky because you look here, and this makes the night before. 2 cups of flour, 2 cups of milk, 1 cup of starter. So the recipes in here that are doing the sourdough stuff, you've got to prep for that. Here on this one here, again, makes the night before. You have to prep it the day before, which I never remember to do, so I'm going to try one of these now and to do that prep and see if the starter I made the other day is any good. Wish me luck. We have a cup of flour, and this is supposed to be a cup of that starter stuff, and then half cup warm water. See if we can find half cup. That's half cup. And we'll stir this up and let this sit overnight, and we'll see what it does. We're either making some sort of bread stuff or we're making some sort of poison. See you tomorrow. Back to cooking. It's the next morning. We did the starter. We were looking at a version of these biscuits. It's calling for, rolling pins and all this stuff and blah blah blah, and I don't actually, biscuit cutters, rolling pins, all this stuff. I don't actually have that, so I'm just going to basically mix all of this together and I guess try to make like little clumpy things or something out of it, some version of it in this bowl, because I don't, roll or have pins or any of that stuff. So let's play. There's 1 cup of flour we're starting with. Put that in there. This is the baking soda. It asks for half a teaspoon. Yeah, half teaspoon. Is that half teaspoon? Maybe. Put that in there. A tablespoon of sugar. 2 teaspoons of baking powder. Something about like that. And we mix that up, I suppose. Now, I'm going to read this. To let stand overnight at room temperature. We got that. 1 hour before serving. Turn dough out 1 cup of the flour on a breadboard. That kind of doesn't sounds like broken English to me. Is this saying to mix my starter stuff last night with that 1 cup? I guess we mixed that an hour before. Let's do it. This is from last night. You can see it's got bubbles and all that stuff in it from the yeast and everything, the starter doing its thing. So I guess we mix this into here and spin it around. This is going to be messy. Yeah, that's messy. Let me come back to you. I'm now going to mix this for a while, which you can see I can't do with one hand. So let me do this and then I'll come back. As this turns into a ball, we'll keep spinning that around a little bit. So this is, what does it say? An hour before. We've done that. And then I guess I can come back an hour later and knead flour lightly into batter, something. I mean, I think that's where you're supposed to put your hand in it and get your hand. I'm not putting my hand in it. I didn't sign up for that. I'll start with a spoon. That's all it gets. And then I'll come back and mix the other part, which was the salt, baking soda, and half a cup of flour. And we'll put that in an hour. And then we'll try to, we're not going to roll it or any of that. We're going to do little globs. But, yep, now we wait. It has been about an hour, and it says knead flour lightly into batter. Make a well in the dough, mix the dry ingredients, knead lightly, get the correct consistency, roll it, blah, 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 blah. We're not going to do that whole rolling part or cutting into biscuits or any of that. We are going to put it into something and bake it for let it sit for about half an hour. Warm place. About half an hour, and then we're going to bake it about 400 degrees. We're going to try to do something with that. Now we mix all this together. Okay, I lied. I did get my hand in it a little bit, but it's something like that. I'm going to take this and flatten it out a little bit on something, and then just kind of let it sit for a while, let it rise. Ugh, this is terrible. Did I mention that I don't actually bake stuff and make bread? I haven't actually done this. I think I tried it once before, about 20 years ago, and it was an epic fail. So this is like a complete, new experiment for me. But so I'm gonna lay this out on something, and then I guess give it some more time to rise. And then we're going to try to cook it in this Lodge Dutch oven thing. See what happens. I'll probably burn it and it won't rise. That's kind of my expectation. So anything above and beyond that is great. I've been warming my butter up here. I don't have a brush to put it on, so I've got a paper towel. And I'm going to just dab this with butter. And I'm just going to throw this big, huge, round circle into the Dutch oven guy. I've got it set on low. It's been pre-warmed. I might need 2 hands for that. Let me come right back to you. Okay, we'll see what this does. I can even get a grip on this thing. There it goes. Getting yucky all over my hands. This is nasty, just so you know. Gonna let that sit in there for a little while. Get the cover back on there so it doesn't lose its heat. I will try to keep an eye on the bottom of it to make sure it doesn't burn. I can't control the heat. I can't make it any lower, shall we say. It's all the way on low, so we'll see what that does. We're going to take a quick rise in a little bit. Put that lid back on. Check it a little bit longer, a little bit later. Okay, I want to check this again. I'm trying to do it quick so I don't lose too much heat, but I want to see if I can take a peek at the bottom of this. Kind of get an idea of what the bottom is looking like under here. And it's right here, really. It's getting brown. That's getting there. I don't know when it's done. I don't know if we reach a point where we just take it off the heat and just let it absorb heat and finish off that way. I'm just going to keep checking it every few minutes and see what she does. I dug in a little bit and it looks like biscuit stuff or something, bread stuff, but it feels like it's sticking and burning a little. So I'm going to go ahead and, yeah, see the bottom of that? That's she's done. I'll just set that right here. Clean this up and get some oil in here to re-season this pan. I've got the pan, the Dutch oven, oiling up a little bit. I kind of definitely hot spot in the middle where that heat is. Definitely would work better raised over something, but I'm gonna open this up. You're a little overcooked here on the bottom. This looks pretty good right here. That looks pretty good. I wonder how it tastes. Yeah, that's not bad. I would go with some bacon and eggs or something. Something like that. Yeah, it's edible. I'm proud of myself. Talk to you later.